All right, if you're a white belt or you're someone who's new to wrestling, we're gonna talk about your basic lines of defense, okay? Line of defense number 1 is your head. Line of defense number 2 is your hands. You can say your forearms too, but your hands. Line of defense number 3 is your hips, okay? So, a lot of times when we get in a stance, right? Whenever my partner shoots, I'm gonna try to defend with my head first. So do whatever shot you want, I don't care. Boom, I use my head to block. This is a very important drill. This drill can suck sometimes. What we would do when I was in high school is we would put our hands behind our backs and our partner would do exactly what Hayden does. I don't know what shot Hayden's gonna do. I don't care what shot Hayden's gonna do, and I want Hayden to shoot hard. My only goal is to keep him from touching my legs, and I use my head to do that job. Okay, so here, I want you to shoot a couple times. So you shoot, go ahead. Boom. All right, again. Boom. Again. Boom. Nice. So that would be game number 1 to practice our first line of defense, our head. My hands are gonna be behind my back. Obviously in a wrestling match, your hands are not gonna be behind your back, but that's the purpose of the drill, is to get good at using your hands. Line of defense number 2 is your hands. Okay, this isn't the greatest line of defense. It's really not, but it's there if they get past your head, all right? This is why most of the time you'll see wrestlers have one hand down and one hand up, okay? Some people wrestle and they reach with their lead leg hand. That's not completely wrong, but it's not something that I advise. I like to reach with my back hand, okay? Because like we talked about with line of defense, I want to catch my partner's shot with my lead hand. So if we play that same game, my only goal is to catch my partner with my hands. I can't use my head now, I can only use my hands. So my partner shoots, right? Boom, my hands are catching my partner, and now I can start to stuff him to the front headlock. So in this game, my goal is to catch and put my partner in a front headlock. So now, go ahead and start to shoot, Hayden. Boom, front headlock. Boom, front headlock. Boom, front headlock. When I keep that lead hand down, it's gonna be very hard for my partner to avoid being caught into a front headlock. Our last line of defense is our hips. This line of defense sucks, okay? It's very hard to beat someone who's good with your hips. This means if my partner gets in on a shot, get in on whatever shot, right? Obviously, I'm gonna have to use my hands with my hips, but it's essentially a sprawl, right? Where I use my hips to get heavy and I break my partner's lock. If we are in a single leg, it'd be a similar thing, right? I'm using my hips to get heavy and I'm breaking my partner's lock. Hips are not a good line of defense to rely on. There is a fourth line of defense, which we call scrambling, but honestly, get good at the first 3 lines of defense first, particularly 1 and 2, before you start playing around with scrambling, which we'll talk about in different videos. But don't forget, head is first, hands are second, hips are last, and scrambling is really, really last minute, okay? And if you're not good at the first 3, be careful being the guy who can only scramble, because if you wrestle with guys who have very clean takedown techniques, it's gonna be very difficult to actually prevent their takedowns just with scrambling, okay? And I know someone's gonna say, well, Ben Askren, but that guy is not the rule, all right? He's the exception.